Welcome to our deep dive.
Into.
Yeah, into the world of William James.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Big fan.
we're exploring his thoughts on the world, a curated collection of his writings.
Right.
On some pretty heavy stuff like
Oh, yeah.
pessimism,
Yeah.
faith,
Yes.
and the very nature of morality.
Morality, yeah.
Now, you might think a philosopher
Yeah.
from the late 1800s would be
A little dry
and dusty,
Yeah.
but James is surprisingly engaging and even funny at times.
Oh, for sure.
Plus,
Yeah.
he had this fascinating background.
I know, right?
Started as a physician
Yeah.
before diving headfirst into philosophy and psychology.
Such an interesting background.
I know.
Yeah.
So what's captivating about James is that he was constantly seeking knowledge from various disciplines, which really shines through in his writing.
Yeah, and he doesn't shy away from tackling complex issues
Dead on.
head on.
For example, he calls pessimism a religious disease.
Right.
What do you think he meant by that?
So it's not just about feeling down, you know?
Yeah.
It's a deeper struggle. James saw this disease as a conflict
Right.
between our innate yearning for meaning
Yeah.
in the universe
Yeah.
and the seemingly chaotic,
Yeah.
often brutal realities of the world around us.
Right. So
Yeah.
ignoring this yearning for meaning isn't the answer.
I don't think so.
We can't just bury our heads in the sand.
You can't just pretend it's not there.
Right.
It won't make it go away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He proposes 2 stages of recovery.
Right. 2 stages.
But instead of separate steps, think of them as intertwined aspects
Yeah.
of overcoming this pessimistic outlook.
I like that.
Yeah.
So the first is acknowledging the limitations of a purely scientific worldview.
Okay.
Science is great at explaining how things work,
Yeah.
but it doesn't always address the why,
Right.
leaving us with this existential void.
That makes sense. So it's not about rejecting science,
No, not at all.
but recognizing that it doesn't have all the answers,
For sure.
especially when it comes to meaning and purpose.
Especially meaning and purpose.
Right. And that leads us to the second aspect of James's recovery,
Okay.
embracing what he calls the will to believe.
The will to believe.
This is the power we have to choose our beliefs,
Yeah.
even when faced with uncertainty.
Right. So we're not just passive recipients of information.
Right.
We actively participate in shaping our own beliefs.
Precisely.
Yeah.
James isn't advocating for blind faith, though.
No, no.
Instead, he suggests a working hypothesis approach.
Right.
We can live as if there's meaning and purpose in the universe
Yeah.
and see if it makes a difference in our lives.
And see if it makes a difference.
It's like testing out a theory in a lab.
Right.
But instead of chemicals and beakers,
Yeah.
we're experimenting with our own beliefs and actions.
It's like a personal experiment
Yeah.
with your own life.
Have you ever noticed how simply believing in something strongly
Oh.
can sometimes help bring it about?
Absolutely. Think about the placebo effect.
Right.
Just believing that a treatment will work
Yeah.
can sometimes have tangible positive effects.
It's fascinating.
It really is.
And it connects back to James's argument that our beliefs
Yeah.
can actually influence our reality.
Influence reality.
But he didn't stop there.
No, he didn't.
He went on to criticize those who demand hard scientific proof
Right.
for everything.
For everything.
He even calls that
It's pretty harsh.
the lowest depth of immorality. A
Yeah.
pretty strong statement,
Really strong.
wouldn't you say?
Very strong statement.
Yeah.
He felt that rigid thinking
Yeah.
could stifle
Yeah.
our most essential impulses.
Like hope, creativity,
Yeah.
and even our ability to act morally.
So it's not about dismissing science,
No, not at all.
but recognizing its limits.
Recognizing its limits.
After all,
Even science relies on certain assumptions
of course,
that can't be definitively proven.
you can't prove everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
Take the laws of physics, for example.
Yeah, like,
We assume they'll always hold true,
right.
but we can't definitively prove
No,
that they always will.
we can't know for
That's just-
sure. It highlights this inherent role of faith,
Yeah.
not just in religion, but in various aspects of life.
Uh-huh.
We constantly make decisions and act
Yeah.
based on beliefs that we can't definitively prove.
So for James,
Yeah.
it's not about blindly accepting any belief,
Wow.
but recognizing that there's a space for faith,
For sure.
a trust in something beyond what we can empirically observe.
Beyond the empirical.
And this leads us to the central question that James grapples with.
Okay.
Is there a fundamental right and wrong
Oh, yeah.
woven into the fabric of the universe?
Right.
Or is morality simply a human construct?
Is it all relative?
Right? Is there a universal moral code? Or is it all relative?
Or just what we make up.
James saw this question as deeply intertwined
Mm-hmm.
with the age-old debate of free will versus determinism.
One of the big ones.
If everything is already predetermined,
Yeah.
then does morality
Yeah.
even have any real meaning?
That's the question.
That's the crux of the argument.
It is.
James suggests that if the universe is predetermined,
Yeah.
then we're left with two
Two options.
rather unsettling options.
Two unsettling options.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right.
What are those options?
So the first is that pessimism, in its truest sense, reigns supreme. Okay, if everything is predetermined,
Yeah.
then evil is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's essentially baked into the fabric of reality.
So
Yeah.
regardless of our actions or intentions,
Yeah.
certain things are going to happen, and
Right.
some of those things are going to be
A
terrible.
lot of them are going to be terrible.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The second, equally unsettling option
Yes.
is that subjectivism is true. This means that there's no objective right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Morality is just whatever we as humans decide it is.
Right.
It's a bit dizzying to think about.
I know, right.
On one hand,
Yeah.
you have this predetermined universe where evil is inescapable.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
Right.
morality becomes arbitrary,
Yeah.
a human invention with no real grounding.
A human invention.
That's the dilemma
That is.
James presents us with.
It's a tough one.
And to illustrate this further,
Okay.
he uses the example of a murder.
A murder.
That seems extreme.
A bit extreme.
How does a murder fit into this?
Well, imagine a murder
Yeah.
that was fated to happen.
Okay.
Could we genuinely regret it if it was predetermined?
Ah,
And if we can't truly feel regret,
right.
what does that say about our sense of morality?
It makes you question the whole concept
Yeah.
of responsibility,
Responsibility.
accountability.
Accountability.
Exactly.
Which of these options,
Yeah.
the inevitability of evil or the arbitrariness of morality,
Right.
do you find more troubling?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think the idea of morality being subjective
Okay.
is particularly unsettling.
Interesting.
It feels like it opens the door
Yeah.
to justifying
Yeah.
any action, no matter how horrific.
Justifying anything.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah,
It really makes you question the foundation
for sure.
of our ethical system.
The whole foundation.
But James doesn't leave us stuck
Thankful.
in this philosophical quagmire.
No, he doesn't.
He proposes a way out,
There's a way out.
a way to preserve both meaning and responsibility.
Okay, I like it.
I'm intrigued.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
He embraces the world of chance.
The world of chance.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about how determinists often reject
They don't like chance.
the concept of chance,
Yeah.
but James redefines it.
Redefine
It's
that.
not as pure randomness,
Okay.
but as the possibility of genuine alternatives.
Genuine alternatives.
So,
Instead of viewing chance as chaos,
right,
he sees it as the potential
the potential.
for things to be different.
Yeah.
The possibility for real choices.
Real choices.
Exact.
And there's this powerful line
Oh, yeah.
where James writes, "The world with a chance in it of being altogether good, even if the chance never come to pass, is better than a world with no such chance at all."
Wow. That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
It suggests that even the possibility of good,
Uh-huh.
the potential for a better future,
Yeah.
is what makes life worth living.
Yeah, that potential.
It makes even the struggles feel
Worthwhile.
worthwhile.
It's a profound statement about hope and agency
Uh-huh.
in the face of an uncertain world.
But how does this idea of chance
Yeah.
connect back to our conversation about morality
Okay.
and a meaningful universe?
It connects in a profound way. You know,
Yeah.
if everything is predetermined,
Mhm.
then our choices are mere illusions.
Right.
But if there's genuine chance, then our decisions carry weight. They truly matter.
So it's the possibility of making real choices,
Yes.
of choosing differently,
Choosing differently.
that gives our lives meaning and purpose.
Exactly.
It's like that famous Robert Frost poem
Oh, yeah.
about the road less traveled,
Right.
choosing the less traveled path.
Choosing it.
Gives it meaning.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and it allows us to maintain this concept
Yeah.
of a moral universe.
Right.
A universe where actions have consequences,
Oh.
where good and evil have a real impact.
So James is essentially saying that without free will,
Yeah.
morality becomes meaningless.
Morality becomes meaningless.
We become passengers
Passengers.
on a predetermined journey,
On that train.
unable to alter the course or take responsibility
All right.
for the destination.
You got it.
That's a great way to put it.
And this leads us
Yeah.
to another fascinating concept
Okay.
that James explores,
Okay.
the nature of rationality.
Okay. I thought we were talking about free will and morality.
Uh,
How does rationality fit into all of this?
well, for James, rationality wasn't just about cold, hard logic.
Okay.
It was about how our minds actually work,
Right.
how we make sense of the world and find meaning in it.
Uh-huh.
He saw it as unimpeded mental function.
Unimpeded mental function.
Yeah,
Could you explain that a bit more?
sure.
It sounds a bit technical.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
A mind is rational when it can flow smoothly,
Okay.
when it's not getting bogged down
Yeah.
by contradictions or inconsistencies.
Yeah.
It's about mental coherence, a
Got it.
sense of things making sense.
So it's not just about being logical,
It's not enough.
but also about having a worldview.
Yeah,
That feels right.
feels right.
That doesn't leave us feeling unsettled or intellectually frustrated.
Exactly.
And James argued that this feeling of rationality,
Yeah.
this mental smoothness,
Mental smooth
is what we're ultimately striving for. When we create our philosophy, our beliefs about the world,
It all makes sense.
we want a worldview
Yeah.
that feels satisfying,
Feels good.
that resonates with us on both an intellectual and an emotional level.
It resonates.
Vital.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Sure.
James believed
Yeah.
that this sense of satisfaction comes not just from theoretical coherence,
Uh-huh.
but also from our practical needs and desires.
So it's not just about having a logically sound worldview,
Right.
but also about how that worldview connects to our lived experiences, our values,
Yeah.
and even our emotions.
Absolutely. Our minds are naturally oriented
Yeah.
towards goals and purposes.
Okay.
And this drive,
Right.
this sense of purpose,
Yeah.
plays a significant role
Right.
in what we ultimately find rational.
Okay. I think I'm starting to see how this all ties together.
It's all coming together.
It's not just about abstract ideas.
Yeah.
It's about how these ideas connect
Connect to our
our
actions.
choices
Yeah.
and our very sense of self in the world.
Sense of self.
But this brings up a question for me.
Okay.
If our minds are so driven by purpose,
Uh-huh.
by this need for meaning,
Yeah.
wouldn't that suggest a belief
Okay.
in something beyond ourselves, something greater?
That's a great question, and it leads us right into James's exploration
Okay.
of theism.
Theism.
He argues that
Yeah.
from a psychological perspective,
Uh-huh.
theism may be the most rational belief system.
Hold on. Theism,
Yeah.
as in belief in God.
Belief in God.
I'm surprised to hear him say that.
Yeah.
Why would he consider that to be the most rational?
Because theism, as James defines it,
Okay.
offers a framework
Okay.
for both understanding the world
Right.
and acting within it.
Okay.
It provides a conception of the universe
Uh-huh.
being governed by a powerful personal God
Right.
who cares about our actions and responds to our prayers.
So it addresses our intellectual need
Yeah.
for an explanation of the universe,
Or we want to know.
while also providing a sense of
God's
guidance.
purpose.
hope.
Oh,
Hope.
exactly. Fulfills our need for both understanding
Yeah.
and action.
And so it's not just theoretical.
No,
It's also practical.
it's practical.
It guides our actions in the world.
Exactly. However, James also recognized
Okay.
that some individuals
Yeah.
seek to go beyond theism,
Beyond theism.
to transcend the idea of a separate God.
Right.
He refers to these attempts as Gnosticism.
Gnosticism?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that term.
Think of it as a yearning
Okay.
to merge with the divine,
Okay.
to achieve a mystical union
Uh-huh.
with ultimate reality.
To become one with God.
Yeah,
Yes, actually.
exactly.
So to go beyond a personal God,
Beyond the personal God.
more universal
To the
understanding, while James acknowledged the allure
It's alluring.
of this type of mystical experience,
For sure.
he ultimately viewed it as an intellectual overreach.
An overreach? Why is that? Why an overreach? Why would he see it as an overreach?
Well, James argued that our human minds,
Yeah,
by their very nature, are limited. We
right?
can never fully grasp
Yeah.
the ultimate nature of reality.
It's too big.
It's too big for us.
He believed accepting this limitation,
Accepting the limitation.
embracing This fundamental mystery
The mystery.
at the heart of existence
At the heart of it all.
was a more honest
More honest.
and fulfilling approach
Yeah.
than constructing complex systems
Right.
claiming to have all the answers.
Yeah, so it's about humility.
Humility,
Yeah.
about acknowledging
Acknowledge
that we don't have all the answers.
not having all the answers.
But if we can never fully know ultimate reality,
Right, if we can't know it all,
how can we determine
how do we know?
right from wrong?
Right from wrong. How can we make moral choices?
Yeah, how can we make those choices?
How can we be certain
Yeah,
we're living the right way?
that's where James's emphasis on action comes in.
Action.
Yeah,
He argued that we uncover the meaning of morality
okay.
through our choices,
Our choice
through our interactions with the world.
through action,
So it's not about following abstract principles
not just principles.
or adhering to a rigid set of rules.
Not just rules, exactly. Morality is something we
Yeah.
figure out through our actions,
With our actions.
through the consequences of our
Oh.
choices.
So it's an ongoing process
It's a process.
of trial and error,
Trial and error.
learning
Yeah.
and growth,
Exactly. It's a continuous journey.
a continuous journey.
And for James, there's no final absolute answer
Oh, wow.
to the question of morality.
That feels a bit daunting, to be honest.
I know. It can be.
It would be comforting
It would be nice.
to have a clear-cut set of rules
Right.
or guidelines.
Guidelines would be good.
Yeah, to know for certain that I'm making the right choices.
I understand that feeling,
Yeah.
but it's also what makes our lives meaningful.
Okay.
Our choices matter,
Yeah.
even though the ultimate blueprint remains a mystery.
It's like we're co-creating
Co-creating.
the moral order of the universe.
Yeah.
Even though we don't fully understand the script.
You don't know the script.
We're improvising, trying to make the best choices we can
Improvising.
with the information we have.
Yeah, and this brings us back
Okay.
to the topic of determinism.
Wait, determinism again?
Back to determinism.
I thought we'd moved on from that.
It keeps coming back.
It's a recurring theme
A recurring theme.
in James's work.
He saw determinism as seductive,
Seductive.
but ultimately perilous.
Perilous. How so?
Because if everything is predetermined,
Right.
if free will is an illusion,
Yeah.
then the foundation of morality crumbles.
It crumples.
We become puppets,
Puppet.
acting out a pre-written script.
With no real agency
No agency.
or responsibility for our actions.
No responsibility.
Exactly. If that's the case, then how can we hold anyone accountable
How can we hold them accountable?
for their actions?
Yeah, even for acts of great evil.
It's a slippery slope toward moral nihilism.
Moral nihilism.
The belief that nothing truly matters.
Nothing matters.
If our choices don't matter,
If it's all predetermined,
then why strive for anything?
right?
Why try to be good at all?
That's a good question.
Determinism, if fully embraced,
Yeah.
can rob us
Robs us.
of our sense of agency,
Our agency.
our belief that we can impact the world
Yeah.
for the better.
We want to make things better.
But James offers a compelling counterargument
Okay, a counter argument.
to this deterministic worldview.
I'm listening.
Okay, tell me more about this counterargument.
Okay.
What is it?
It's rooted
Okay,
in our human experience
Uh,
of regret.
regret. How does feeling regret
Yeah.
argue against determinism?
Think about it.
Okay.
If everything is predetermined,
Yeah.
if our past was inevitable,
Uh-huh.
then why do we experience regret? Why do we wish we could have done things differently?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Regret would seem pointless,
Pointless.
irrational, even
Irrational.
if our past actions were unavoidable.
If we had no choice.
So is James saying
Yeah.
that regret is actually a good thing?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
He argued
Yeah.
that this feeling of regret, this
Mhm.
longing for a different past,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
evidence against a purely deterministic universe.
So it suggests
suggests
that we had genuine choices,
genuine choices.
real
Yes.
alternatives
Yeah.
that we could have chosen.
We could have chosen differently.
Exactly. And those choices mattered.
They mattered.
They had real consequences.
Real consequences.
And they shaped the world
They shaped the world.
we experience.
Exactly.
So instead of viewing regret
Right.
as a sign of weakness or failure,
Not a weakness.
we can see it as an affirmation
An affirmation.
of our freedom and responsibility.
Our freedom.
It's a testament to the weight of our choices,
To the weight of our choice.
the recognition that they make a difference,
They make a difference.
for better or for worse.
For better or worse.
That's a really profound insight.
It really is.
It reframes
It reframes it.
the whole idea of regret,
Right.
transforming it from a burden
From a burden.
into a recognition of our agency,
Our agencies.
and power to influence the world.
We have the power.
And it reinforces
James' core belief.
his core belief that we're not merely spectators
Spectator.
in this universe.
Yeah.
We're active participants
Active participant.
in shaping the moral
No,
landscape.
we're shaping it.
So instead of passively accepting
Right.
whatever fate throws at us,
Not just accepting fate.
we can embrace,
World of chance.
recognize the weight of our choices,
Halfway.
and strive to make a positive impact.
A positive impact.
Exactly. And that's
What
what makes James's philosophy
Yeah.
so empowering.
It's empowering.
He's not just presenting abstract ideas,
It's not just abstract.
but offering a framework
a frame.
for living a meaningful and purposeful life,
Meaningful and purposeful.
even amidst uncertainty.
Even with the uncertainty.
It's like he's saying, don't be paralyzed by doubt
Don't be paralyzed.
or the fear of making the wrong choice.
Just go for it.
Jump in, take a chance, and see what happens.
That's a great way to put it.
It encourages us
Encourages us.
to embrace the unknown,
The unknown.
to live with a sense of adventure,
Adventure.
and to trust our instincts and deepest desires.
trust your gut.
That's a pretty radical departure
It is radical.
from the cautious, evidence-based approach
Right.
often championed in intellectual circles.
Very different.
It's refreshing, really.
It is refreshing.
It is. It can feel a bit unnerving at first.
Yeah, a little unnerving.
But James believed that this willingness to take risks,
To take risks.
to act on faith,
To act on faith.
is essential for progress,
It's essential.
both individually
individually
and societally.
as a society.
We can't always wait for definitive proof
No, we're king.
or absolute certainty.
Not always.
Sometimes we need to take a leap of faith
A leap of faith.
because it's in those moments of uncertainty
Right.
and those leaps of faith
In those leaps.
that we truly discover who we are
Who we are.
and what we're capable of achieving.
What we can achieve.
Precisely. That's why James was so critical
So critical.
of those who clung
Those who clung.
to a purely deterministic worldview.
They were clinging to it.
He felt it stifled creativity,
Stifled creativity.
innovation,
Yeah.
and moral action.
Moral action.
It's like being trapped in a cage
A cage.
of our own making,
On cage.
afraid to step outside the bars,
Afraid to leave.
even when the door's wide open.
Even when it's open. James wanted to break open that cage.
Break open the cage.
To liberate us.
Liberate us.
And allow us
Yeah.
to explore the full range of human potential.
To live with a sense of purpose,
Purpose.
of boundless possibility,
Boundless possibility.
and a deep understanding
Deep understanding.
of the moral weight
moral weight.
our choices carry.
Our choices carry that weight.
Yes, to recognize that our actions,
Our actions.
our decisions,
Our decisions.
have the power to shape
to shape.
a better world.
We can make it better.
So after this deep dive
This deep dive.
into James's thought,
Yeah.
where does it leave us?
Where are we now?
What's the key takeaway
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
from his philosophy?
I think it boils down to this.
Okay.
James empowers us to be active participants.
Active participants.
In creating a more moral world,
Even
even amidst uncertainty
amidst uncertainty
and ambiguity.
and ambiguity.
He encourages us to embrace
World of chance.
the world of chance, to trust our instincts,
Yeah.
and to act on our beliefs.
Back on our beliefs.
Even when we lack definitive proof.
To find meaning and purpose.
Meaning and purpose.
Not just in the outcomes of
Right.
our actions,
Not just the outcomes,
but in the very act
the act itself.
of choosing itself.
Of choosing.
It's about embracing the journey,
The journey.
the adventure of life,
The adventure.
and recognizing
the
the transformative power
the power
of our choices.
of those choices.
It is, and it leads us
It leads
to this final thought-provoking idea
Okay, the final idea
from James.
from James.
Our willingness to believe in good
Okay,
can actually contribute
contribute.
to making it real.
That's powerful.
That's powerful.
It really is.
It's almost like he's giving us permission
Permission.
to dream big,
Dream big.
to imagine a world
Yeah,
where things are better,
where it's better.
and then to take concrete steps to
Yeah.
make that dream a reality.
To make it happen.
It's a powerful reminder that we're not powerless bystanders.
We have the power.
We have the capacity
We have the capacity.
to shape the world around us,
We really do.
even in small ways.
Even in small ways.
It's about shifting our mindset
Shifting our mindset.
from one of passive acceptance
Yeah.
to one of active participation.
Active participation.
It makes me think about all the times I felt stuck,
Oh, yeah.
like things were out of my control.
out of control.
Maybe that feeling of being stuck
Mm,
was partly because I wasn't fully embracing
yeah.
this idea of the will to believe,
The will to believe.
of actively choosing to believe
Choosing to believe.
in a better future and then acting accordingly.
Right, and then taking action.
It's easy to fall into that trap,
Oh, it is.
especially when faced with challenges or setbacks.
Challenges and setbacks happen,
But James reminds us that even in the face of uncertainty,
even when we don't know.
even when we can't see the full path ahead,
We don't know the power.
we still have the power
We still have the power.
to choose to act and to influence the course of events.
We can make a difference.
It's like that quote,
Yeah.
often attributed to Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Be the change you wish to see in the world,
Be the change.
James might say.
What would James say?
Believe in the change you wish to see,
Believe in it.
and then act as if it's already happening.
Act as if.
That's a great way to synthesize his message.
A great synthesis.
It's not just about wishful thinking.
No, not just wishing.
It's about aligning our beliefs
Aligning
with our actions,
action.
creating a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy
This self-fulfilling prophecy
of positive change.
of positive change.
So how can we apply
Yeah, how can we apply it?
this will to believe
In real life,
in a practical way?
in a practical way.
It's easy to get caught up
It's
in abstract concepts.
abstract concept.
But how can we make this philosophy
All right.
actionable in our daily lives?
So James would encourage us
Okay.
to identify the things we truly value,
The things we value
the changes we want to see in ourselves and the world around us.
in ourselves and the world.
And then we can start by taking
Taking
small, concrete steps,
Taking as if.
acting as if.
Those changes are already in motion.
So it's about identifying our goals
Identify your goal.
and then taking consistent action,
consistent acts.
even if those actions seem insignificant at first.
Even if they're small.
Exactly. Remember, James believed in the power
The power
of small cumulative efforts.
small efforts add up.
Each choice, each action,
Every single one.
no matter how small,
Yeah.
contributes to shaping the moral landscape.
Shaping the landscape.
It's a bit like the butterfly
The
effect.
butterfly effect.
The idea that a butterfly flapping its wings
Flapping its wings.
in one part of the world
one part of the world
could eventually lead
could lead
to a hurricane in another.
to a hurricane,
Our actions.
however small,
Yeah.
can have a ripple effect,
A ripple effect.
creating positive change
Positive change.
far beyond our immediate sphere of influence.
Far beyond.
That's a great analogy.
Good analogy.
James would likely agree
I think he would.
that our choices,
Our choices,
like the butterfly's wings,
like those wings,
can initiate chains of events
chains of events,
that lead to unexpected
unexpected
and transformative outcomes.
outcomes,
This has been such an inspiring
inspiring,
and thought-provoking
thought-provoking,
deep dive
deep dive.
into the work of William James.
William James.
His ideas
His ideas
are a powerful reminder
a powerful reminder.
that we're not just passive observers
Not passive.
in this universe.
In this universe,
We're active participants
we participate
with the
power
power to shape our
to
reality,
shape our reality,
both individually
individually
and collectively.
collectively.
His philosophy,
Yeah, there's a call to action.
a call to act, an invitation
An invitation to
embrace,
to world of chance.
to trust our instincts,
trust your instincts
and to live
and to live.
with a sense of purpose and moral urgency.
Purpose and urgency.
He reminds us that our choices matter,
Our choices matter.
that even small acts
Small acts
of courage and kindness
courage and kindness
can contribute
to creating
a more just and meaningful world.
a better world.
So as we go about our lives,
As we live our lives.
let's remember the wisdom
Of William James.
to embrace the mystery,
You embrace the mystery.
to act with
To
courage,
act with courage.
and to never stop believing
Never stop believing
in the possibility
the possibility
of a better future.
of a better future.
We each have the power
We have the power
to make a difference.
to make a difference.
And by aligning our beliefs with our actions,
aligning our beliefs and actions,
we can contribute
we can contribute
to creating a world
to creating a world
that reflects
that reflects
our highest values and aspirations.
highest values.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
and empowering message
empowering message
that resonates just as strongly today
just as strong
as it did
as it did
over a century
and
ago.
over a century ago.
Thank you for joining us
For joining us
on this deep dive
on this deep dive
into the world
into the world
of William James.
of William James.